Okay, so what's up, guys? Today we got the first episode of the advanced SMC course. So yeah, we're gonna be speaking about the advanced course. So we have done the free course already, and if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's just plain and basic explanation about SMC. And in this course, we're gonna go in depth, advanced, and show live and demo conditions, as in replay condition. But I'll just show examples. So let's get on the charts. The first episode, as you can see in the title, is supply and demand, right? Still get a lot of questions about supply and demand. So I'm going to explain simple how supply and demand works. All right, so let me first go here. So what a supply and demand zone is a zone where the institutions are interested to buy or sell from. So what we could see, let's say we are in a bullish trend. We see higher highs, higher lows, whatever. Now what do? Right? What you look for is for the candle that represents the big move to the upside that causes a break of structure, right? So for a supply and demand to be valid, you always have to have a break of structure. This is necessary. If this doesn't exist, then your supply and demand zone is not valid, right? So what we're looking for is supply and demand zones. So what we have here, nice demand zone, mitigation in, nicely done. Then we have another break of structure, another demand zone, nice mitigation again. So how do you identify a supply and demand zone? Let me show you that as well. What I personally use and what only makes sense to me is the first candle to the representative move, right? So let's say we're moving down, we want to take the first down candle. Let's say we move up, we want to take the first up candle, right? Now, why do I pick this? Because I know a lot of people that take the first down candle before going up, but why do I take this? Because there's a demand zone, which means we have buying pressure, right? And buying pressure would not be there if the candle is bearish. So what I assume, or what we think, is that, okay, the first candle is simply going to be bullish, and that's going to showcase that there's buy pressure, aka demand. Same with supply zone, we have a bearish candle, there's supply, they want to sell, so on, okay? So that's what I believe, and that's what we're going to use. So let's go into live market examples, and let me just show you. Let me just go back in time, right? So what do I see here, right? We see a break of structure here nicely. We see that our supply zone is getting respect nicely. Right here, we could take this. I mean, you could take the whole candle, but you could always refine in the lower time frames. Let's say we go on to the 5 minutes chart. You can see that we have a nice refinement here. We don't want to be going too refining, but as you can see, perfect tap in. Now, what do we see? We see that we haven't broken any structure yet. So we're not gonna take any of this because this hasn't broken structure. And it will probably show me in the following minutes that this supply is probably invalid. It could always be valid, but I don't expect this supply to be valid anyway. So what I simply wait for is a break of structure right here. And now what I look for the supply that caused that break of structure, which is going to be identified right here. Right, so then what do we simply do? We'll wait. We have another break of structure, but this break of structure for me is not valid. So what you do is we mark this out as liquidity, right? This should all be common knowledge from the previous course. We had inducement, we had liquidity, blah, blah, blah. And what do? We have another break of structure. Simply go to mark out my supply. First down candle before the big needs. What do we see? We have a nice mitigation, nice reaction. And then what do we see? We probably came into a bigger PY, but it doesn't really matter. It just shows that the supply zone was valid. Now, what do we see? The supply got mitigated. It gave a nice run of 20 plus pips. Would have been a decent trade. Let's see if our other supply is valid. Exactly, once again, supply is very, very valid. See, this is why I chose this one instead of this one. Simple, simple break of structure. Now what do? We wait for a break of structure. We also have a break of structure to the upside with the demand zone. So we tag this demand zone. And let's see if this demand zone is valid. Beautiful. You could have easily taken, that's like a 30-40 pip move. So again, another trade right there. Now let's see. Looks like we are going to break structure. We're simply going to wait. No break of structure yet, so we're not going to mark any supply zones yet. Okay, we have another break of structure here, so we're going to mark out our supply zone right here. Let's see how that goes. On mitigation, we're building up liquidity above the supply zone, which is extra confirmation for us. Just waiting, simple. Get the tag. You get probably confirmation. You probably will be stopped out by this trade, which is okay. Now we do have another supply zone right here, so let's see if that one is valid as well. See, this one is valid. So what you did have is, let's say you had a loss here, then you would have entered here again, and then you probably would have Probably got on like a 4 or 5 hour trade, which is like still very, very good. So as you can see, that was a very good trade. You didn't have any break of structure, so that's why you didn't enter again on this. This is not a break of structure, so don't mind any of that. So what we're simply going to be waiting for is to see if you break structure to the upside, what you do. This is the responsive candle, right? The candle right here. And we could take this, and this is the break of structure of the demand zone, right? So what we want to do is we want to see a retracement towards the demand zone. We get no confirmation, so we don't enter. What do? We look for the next demand zone, which is right here. Get a tag in. Do you get confirmation? No, you don't. So you probably don't enter. And again, if you want to have the confirmation model, go to my previous video. So it's probably going to go up anyway, but this just shows that, of course, sometimes it could mitigate lower, which is okay. And this probably was just used as an inducement. But you just have to wait and seek for confirmation at all costs. Again, another same thing. Let's go on the 5 minute C. Here we could probably take it like this. And you're simply going to wait for price to come back. Now, obviously, we could be in a higher time for PY. You always want to be aware of that. I just, currently, I'm just not looking at that. Again, see the refinement that plays a big role, right? The refinement plays a big role because if you would have entered, like if you would have had your supply like this, for example, a lot of people have their supply like this, or the first down candle, let's say. What do you see here? You see that you get mitigated and then you drop like a 10 pip move, which would have been used as inducement. So that's why you always want to refine your zones. Again, this was probably used as liquidity, as I could see this zone holding right here. Or we could just straight move down as well. Yeah, so same thing here. This just shows that your supply and demand zones are very, very important. I have to take the correct ones instead of the candle. You know, you take the down candle for the supply and the up candle for demand. You always want to be aware that you take the most extreme, the most refining demand zones. We'll explain a little bit more in depth with the following zones. But the one of two confluences you could always use is liquidity, right? You see liquidity build up here. And we actually did grab that liquidity, but you always want to see liquidity build up before a supply or demand zone. That's extra confirmation at all. And you always want to make sure that your supply and demand zone has a broken structure, which significant structure, not just simply a low structure. You want to see like an external break of structure on like the 15 minute, which, you know, you always want to see where your trading range is, right? You always want to point out the swing high and the swing low. And when you know the swing high, like let's say this was our swing low, this was our swing high. As long as these don't get broken, there's no break structure, right? And then what do you see? Swing low gets broken, break of structure. This is not break structure because this was not, I mean, this was a swing low, but like this is really a swing low. So either we break this structure or break this high. So our trading range is this, right? From this low to that high. So you're simply gonna wait and you're gonna see. So you wait, this, okay, we break structure. So now what do you see? This supply zone caused our swing low to break, right? Break of structure. This is not a break of structure right here. We building up liquidity once again. Yeah, see how beautiful? See how beautiful it is? Simple liquidity buildup, swing low, break of structure, simple retest towards the supply zone. And that's like a 40 pip, a 60, 70 pip move. You bag it beautifully. Even comes to retest this demand, which also broke structure. Probably react from a higher time PY. So that's as simple as that. So I hope that kind of made sense, guys. I hope it made sense. I hope you guys learned something new. The point is that you always want to refine your stuff and always want to have your plan, right? So you want to make sure you follow yourself and you just write out, let's say, for example, 1, break structure, 2, liquidity, you know, build up, inducement, and then you could always add more confluence along the way whenever you backtest. So just make sure to just use this, try and use this as backtest. Don't go straight live, right? Always want to make sure that you're going to the backtest. You always want to backtest this first before going to the live markets, as usual. I see a lot of people make the mistake that, you know, they go and straight go to the live market and then end up gaming me like, oh, yo, bro, why doesn't this work? Of course, it's not gonna work. You're a retard, right? You should always go back test, refine it depending on your own strategy. You know, implement it in yourself, make it, you know, mix it with something, create some secret sauce of yourself or whatever. So yeah, that's simple as that. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. First video of the course. See you guys in the next one. Peace.